The 90s, the time of Pogs, Nintendo, and Sega, and what we're focusing on today, cartoons. Many networks such as Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network had a whole slew of animation that made the channels memorable then and now. Disney had Disney Afternoon and One Saturday Morning, Nickelodeon had Friday Night Nicktoons and Snick, and lastly, Cartoon Network had Toonami and Cartoon Fridays. Cartoons had something for anybody to enjoy, comedy and action. And no show is prominent with those topics than in the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls was about three girls named Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, superheroes that solve crime and go through hijinks and whatnot, or whatever, I don't know. It's not my job, you should know, dipshit. Yeah, at first, the premise might seem safe and cutesy, but while there are some moments, the show is pretty dark and edgy at most moments. That's the fun of it, it actually plays with your expectations on how they play out the situations. On top of that, it's such an imaginative cast that had personalities on top of the humor and situations. But we're going a bit too far, so let's step back a bit, way back, to the early 90s, to the creator, Craig McCracken. Craig made a short film in college that had three little girls who were superpowered, but instead of sugar, spice, everything nice, and a little dash of chemical X, instead of chemical X, they were created with whoop-ass, and the short was named Whoop-Ass Stew. After his college loved the short film, he pitched it to Nickelodeon, but was rejected. Just like what I said in my Hey Arnold review. But after Hanna-Barbera saw the short, they loved it and hired Craig to the studio shortly after graduating from CalArts. Craig worked on Two Stupid Dogs in 1993 before. But then, Craig Siebert, president of then Hanna-Barbera and now Federator, had the idea of making shorts for a special show named World Premiere Toons, or What a Cartoon for Cartoon Network. Both Craig and Gendy Tartakovsky, creator of Dexter, made pilots for the block, and Gendy's short, Dexter's Lab, was a big hit for the network, so they greenlit the pilot into a show less than a year later, and Craig worked on Dexter. The Powerpuff Girls short was also a huge hit for CN, so they greenlit it shortly after Dexter was cancelled in 1998. Gendy also worked on Powerpuff after Dexter. Okay, now that we're done with all that little history, let's talk about the show itself. When Powerpuff Girls premiered in 1998, it was a huge hit for both Hanna-Barbera and Cartoon Network. It had 6 seasons, a theatrical movie, 2 anniversary specials, and an upcoming reboot, but we'll talk about that later. Ugh. Let's talk characters. Blossom is the intelligent and organized one, and probably is more closer to me because of my OCD and dyslexia, because I'm not going to talk about that now, it's a Powerpuff Girls review, so who keeps things safe. Bubbles is the cutesy and vulnerable of the three, but she has her moments where she becomes a badass.
I got him! You're out! Done! Finished! You were beaten down, sister, by cute little Bubbles!
Lastly, we have Buttercup, the tough one of the group. Also, I've heard people say she's more of a tomboy, which I also kind of agree. Professor Utonium is a scientist that created the girls with sugar, spice, everything nice, and a dose of chemical X. You know, I don't know about this world, but is there another way of procreating and this is normal for the town to be saved by science experiments? The villains in the show were actually very significant and memorable, such as a giant lobster demon named him, green gangster hoodlums, walking germs, and weirdest of all, a gender-bent Powerpuff Girls. Looks like this is the original Adventure Time, isn't it? Powerpuff Girls later grew to be huge in merchandise, commercials, and a Delta airline that had the Powerpuff Girls printed on. The series became so huge, it had a theatrical movie by Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers in July 2002. The movie was a financial flop, earning only $11 million out of his $16 million worldwide, and remains the only theatrical Cartoon Network movie as of 2015. To be honest, I actually really liked the dark turn the movie gave with the colors and situations and whatnot. You know, you might have seen from my Hey Arnold review that the movie came out a month after Hey Arnold the movie, and you know how much I hate that movie. Still, the series was wildly popular. Later in 2004, Powerpuff Girls was cancelled because Craig wanted to work on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and the only thing Powerpuff related that he actually did work on after the cancellation was the 2008 special. Okay, time to give my opinions on the actual episodes. Seasons 1 to 3 had the best animation, best writing, and overall quality episodes. Seasons 4 to 6 were the seasons I thought were bad. The weird time in the 90s where everybody was trying to use computers instead of cell animation. It looked too bright and flash, and the writing was just awful, trying to be too dark and edgy, trying way too hard, and was filled with either filler or cruelty. This change happened after Craig left PowerPuff to create Foster's. Finally, after 6 seasons, Powerpuff Girls ended from 1998 to 2004. There was still merchandise being sold, but there wasn't anything new until 2006. Okay guys, you might be thinking this far into the video, hey Bruce, why is this the only animated series and it's anime only themed month? The reason to that is in the year 2006. In that year, an anime of Powerpuff Girls was made into Powerpuff Girls Z. This anime was produced and animated by Toei Animation. Yes, Toei, the same people who made us Dragon Ball and One Piece. Surprisingly, without McCracken's permission, it was aired on Cartoon Network Japan, Australia, CNN Boomerang Philippines, and TV Tokyo. It actually had 2 shoujo manga volumes, so that's pretty cool for a Japanese spin-off of an American property. Mostly both that and the other way around suck ass, so basically, it's the same premise, but with both minor and drastic differences, such as the sisters being friends, Professor having a son and a fucking robot dog, the professor is not the girl's father, Princess having an older sister and a pet cat, Blossom having an older sister and other weird Japanesey stuff. Oh yeah. And it's a magical girl anime. Brilliant. I won't go more in depth with the weird changes they made, but in the description, I'll link you to a Powerpuff Girls Z review by Benisco. It's pretty cool. So, after the anime ended, it was time for the 10th anniversary of the Powerpuff Girls in 2008. And the crew made an hour-long episode for Cartoon Network, but for some reason Cartoon Network needed it to be half an hour long. But the episode was already made, so literally the crew sped up the episode to fill in the quota. It's actually more hilarious, sped up with the weird jerky movements and fast-paced motions. After and before that, all writers from Powerpuff, Dexter, and Johnny Bravo left from Cartoon Network to other companies. Like Gandhi left for Sony, Lauren went to Hasbro, Craig went to Disney, Seth went to Fox, and Butch went to Nickelodeon. People like Penn Ward, J.G. Quintel, Ben Bucklet, Pete Brongard, and Rebecca Sugar all came in to start a new generation on Cartoon Network. In 2012, Ringo Starr of the Beatles released some information on his YouTube channel for voice work on the new Powerpuff Girls special, along with his character designs. Later in 2013, Cartoon Network released their upfront for Powerpuff Girls special. In 2014, Powerpuff Girls Dance Pants was released, and it was mediocre. The pacing felt very forced, the animation didn't fit the spirit of Powerpuff Girls, it couldn't stop yelling or singing, and it tried so hard to be South Park with the art style, and it sucked. Shortly after that, CNN announced there will be a new series. In June 2015, they released some information on the designs and voice actors, and social media blew up. Not to be mean, but I really do wish the new voices good luck, but I'm wondering why Turner decided not to hire the old voices, who are still in the industry and acting to this day. I'll put up a screen the tweets to the actors and creators said in response to the vines, but when Craig tweeted out, it seemed like he was angry at the girls, but I don't know. I was like, oh my god, Craig, like they're just trying to act. By the end, people were misunderstood that Craig said he was excited for the girls, but he was mad at how Turner treated his property. But I'll make a link to a rant by Pie Guy Rules that lists reasons why the sequel won't work. It actually has some good points, and you should go watch and subscribe to him. Overall, Powerpuff Girls still holds up as one of the best superhero cartoons and one of Cartoon Network's best shows, but some things aren't as good now or then, and I wish the new actors good luck. This is ironic, but I have nothing else to say, but so once again, the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff Girls. See you later, Nick.
That's the evilest thing I can imagine!